Well, welcome again to another Talking Technical show. And let's kick off with all those requests. Let's first have a look at Durban Roodepoort Deep. Knowles asked about it. He wants to know if he can buy the stock, and he's very bullish on the gold price. He believes that the gold price must go way above 2,000. Well, that is always the problem, Knowles, is that people believe that when they believe that the price will go up, it must go up today or tomorrow. Now, what happened here? Everybody was surprised that Durban Roodepoort Deep went all the way up to 28 Rand. But since then, it lost a lot of momentum. And what worries me a little bit, and I know that you are more of a long-term investor on Durban Roodepoort Deep. For me personally, I'm always nervous with gold companies that you talk about a long-term investment horizon there. Reason being, remember, the gold companies can maybe make now a lot of money because the gold price looks good. The rand is maybe starting to weaken a little bit, and suddenly they're making a lot of money. But things can change, like you can get a strike on wages. You can get a point where the mine is too deep. In this case of Durban Roodepoort Deep, it's more of an open cast setup where they just use the ore of other mines or some ore that's been lying there for many years and put them through their plant. Things can suddenly change for a commodity company, especially gold companies, because as everybody believes that it can go higher, it can also go lower. Now, this is what's happening here. Now, Knowles, I will use this little line here if you want an entry point. Now, while this line is a resistance, and it is a resistance at the moment, I will just say I will wait. Because if this line, and there's the level, on 19 Rand 10 cents, while 19 Rand 10 cents is a resistance, you can say that the momentum can take the share even lower, because below 19.10, where can we go to? We can go to this support line, and that was a previous support line. Now, the reason why I'm looking at these support lines is, can you see here that we had a lamp pole formation, a little bit of a pullback, a lamp pole formation, but we didn't see a little bit of a pullback this side. Now we suddenly see an extended pullback, and that's why I say below 19.10, it can maybe just surprise and go all the way down to this 14 Rand 72 level. If it goes below 14.72, it can actually go even a little bit lower. I doubt that, but it can be. Reason being, if you look at the long-term or the medium-term trend, have a look there, and then you will see that the company had such a wonderful rally, but it ran away from its medium to long-term support line. And that trend line tells you, yes, everybody is bullish on Durban Roodepoort Deep since about 2019, but it can easily come back, and I think it can maybe pull back to this line. So, Knowles, don't just rush into it, wait for it, and if it turns around and it makes this line a support, it's something different, because then you can buy. Maybe make use of a stop loss of 17.80. If you turn around, your targets to the top will be 19.99. Let's call it 20 Rand. You can go to 22.24. There you are, 23.07, 23.71. And can you believe it? Maybe 25.58. And the reason being, remember the Rand, it's a currency that can easily weaken. And if the gold price just holds on a little bit and the Rand weakens, we can maybe see a nice move the upside. Well, let's have a look at something else, and let's look at that old favorite, Sasol. Everybody is waiting what Sasol is going to do, and they're thinking about it. Let's have a look here. I just want to get the stock up. It's a little bit lazy to come up. There you are. There's Sasol. If you look at this company, remember, everybody is thinking about Sasol as a long-term buy because the oil is low and the economy must improve. I did this analysis this morning for somebody. And now, if you look at this, there was that big drop all the way down to 27, from there to 27. I mean, can you believe it? There was that massive head and shoulder that everybody called wrong. In actual fact, I many years ago, I said, listen, on the show with Juliet, I sometimes said, I hope that I'm completely wrong. And there was that head and shoulder. Let's just have a look here. There was that ugly left shoulder and the head and the right shoulder. And at that point, I said, listen, let's see. Maybe I'm wrong, and I hope that I'm wrong. And Well, what can you believe it? We were all wrong, but the problem is we were wrong on the downside targets. We thought that it can go to 231. And what happened? It went all the way down to 25. Now, everybody is looking at the stock. Now, I say, let's just be a little bit patient. Remember, we don't know if the company is going to come out with a rights issue because they've just sold a bit of the old Lake Charles project. I'm using this line in the sand. And this line is quite a simple line. That tells me, while the share is moving below 155, the momentum is still to the downside. And I will only be happy if 155 can turn into a support before I will say it can go up. And where do I get that line? There's another line here that also gets to that point. And there you are. If you take that line, and while Sasol, the management, is thinking, I think we're going to take a few weeks and we can maybe get to this crossing point. So below this line, momentum is down. You don't buy the stock, you wait for it. If you did buy the stock at, let's say, 25 Rand or 35 Rand, and you're still holding on to it, it's a different story. But if you are let's call it a new buyer, and you want to get into the company, I will say to myself, listen, wait for that line to turn into a support, and only then I will get in. And what worries me a little bit is that below this support line, look what happens here. Below this support line, Sasol is struggling to find its feet. Let's take those other two out because we did discuss it. There you are. Below this line of 129.10 cents, the market is telling us that it's struggling to find its feet. So that's the point. Below that, I will not touch it. Let's wait for the rights issue. Maybe the rights issue will surprise all of us, and then maybe we can look at the company again. Let's have a look at Telkom and Tabiso. Tabiso asked about Telkom. Before I start with Tabiso, there was a guy also that phoned me this morning, and his name was Tandagazi. And he is now new in technical analysis. He's a young chappie, age of 30 years old. And I had a wonderful chat to him. And the reason why he's doing it, he said to me, I want to teach myself over a 10 or a 15-year period of time. And then I would like to see if I can maybe make a lot of, let's say, a passive income out of this. I said to him, listen, partner, if you struggle with this for 10 or 15 years, will become very good, and you will probably then make more than a passive income because you will be wise, because the charts will tell you what the informed capital is doing. So I'm very optimistic. If I hear about a young chappie of the age of 30 that's starting to do this, I can just take my hat off to him because it's a wonderful passion. But remember, I'm the wrong guy to ask because I like technical analysis. Well, let's have a look at Telkom and Tabiso. If we look at Telkom here, there was the support, or let's say the consolidation after the huge sell-off of the COVID from the top to the bottom. This support is now turned into another support area. But for me, this is the crucial one. I can maybe use this line and tell you that things are starting to look better. It can maybe go higher. For me, I'm a little bit nervous. I will look at this. And the reason why I will use this horizontal line is because I'm seeing this consolidation over a last couple of months. Now, why do I do that? Instead of using this Q line, that is more of an impulse buy if it turns around and the momentum shoots up. For me, I say with Telkom, let's wait for this consolidation. This is a massive consolidation. And Tabiso also asked about the company, not for a weekly view, but over the long term. So he's keen on buying the stock for a medium to a long term. Now, if that's the case, Tabiso, then you wait for this consolidation to break up. And that will only be above 36 Rand and 10 cents. Above 36.10, we know that the momentum wants to swing to the upside. And we know that we are right. Because then we've got a wonderful base. We can see that the stock is moving up out of that. And if I buy then, I will use a stop loss at that point of time for a medium to a long-term view. I will use 28.58. And what's my target? If it breaks to the upside from there, there you are. I can just use that little line there, and let's just extend it to the top. There you are. It can go back all the way to 52. So I will not do anything while this consolidation is keeping me busy. Well, there's one of those old wonderful companies. I mean, this company cannot disappoint, but we've seen that this stock underperformed quite a lot over the last couple of years, and that is Remgro. Now, Tina asked about Remgro. I think Tina is looking at a long-term buyer because when I looked at the email, I realized that she is a young lady that wants to invest for the future. So let's have a look here. I mean, what worries me about this wonderful company, and they've got wonderful management, beautiful cash, nothing wrong with that. This stock is trying to find its feet. For me, Remgro is an old favorite of mine. I will use this little line, and that line is 97 Rand and 85 cents. And for me, that is the waterfall formation. I will say to myself, let it first sort that out and turn this line into a support. Almost the same thing like that other chart. It broke the trend line, but it's trying to find its feet. So for me, it's quite simple. If you look at Remgro for a buying opportunity, only buy above that 90, there's the exact level. Let's get it, 97.38 cents. Buy it above 97.38. Make use of a stop loss of 83.78 if you're a long-term buyer, but I can give you a tighter stop loss, will be 90.35, and the momentum to the top will be 109.11 and even 118.49. And for some of the viewers that have been watching the show for a long time, can you believe it, that long time ago, it was a difficult call to see Remgro below 200 Rand. Well, that's the end of my period of time now. I'll talk to you again. Visit our website, www.fransdeklerk.com, for more info on charts, and we'll chat again.